This is always be finding, where opportunity is created, not chased.
If someone can't explain what you do in one sentence, you don't have a referral problem. You have a clarity problem. In Chapter 4, we introduced the idea of opportunity partners, people who already work with the same clients you want to serve. In Chapter 5, we walked through how to find them and connect the right way. No pitch, no pressure, just alignment and trust. Now we're in the next phase. This is about cultivating those relationships and making the most of them, so they create a steady stream of new opportunities over time. One of the simplest ways to do that is also one of the most overlooked: making yourself easy to explain. When your opportunity partners can clearly describe what you do, when it matters, and why it's helpful, opportunity moves without you having to push it. In this segment, Jake and Imani explain how to do that in a way that feels natural, useful, and easy to repeat out in the real world.
Yeah, so this was the story of my life early on in sales. Somebody in my network wanted to send me a lead, right? But they totally choked when someone asked, "What does Jake do again?" And they gave some rambly, messy answer like, he does a lot of outdoor stuff with, plants and you should talk to him. Which is basically a death sentence for that referral, let's be honest.
It's so true, Jake. In narrative psychology, there's this idea: the best story is the one someone else can actually retell on a whim when the opportunity arises. So if you give them a novel, it just doesn't stick. I see this all the time when I run executive training. People are so clever, but no one remembers their pitch 2 hours later.
Exactly. I actually asked a friend of mine this straight out. I said, "Hey, tell me what you do in a really simple way so I can explain it to people." He didn't overthink it. He said, "I help people fix things inside their house, fast and at a fair price." I started using that line, and it worked. People got it right away. I was able to refer him without explaining or qualifying anything, and he started getting steady opportunities from me. A few months later, he asked, "Why is this working so well?" I told him, "Because I can explain what you do in one sentence." Then he flipped it back on me. He said, "All right, what's your line?" So I told him, "I help homeowners improve everything outside their house, thoughtfully and at a fair price." He started using that exact wording with his clients. And just like that, referrals started coming back my way. Same thing, clear, specific, easy to repeat. That's the ideal opportunity partner relationship. When both people have simple, repeatable language, opportunity spreads naturally, almost like a good idea catching on. No pressure, no selling, just clarity moving through the network.
It worked because you both stripped out the backstory and focused on what people actually need to know. You didn't give him a script. You gave him something he could confidently use. And that detail matters. Saying, "If it's ever helpful, here's an easy way to explain what I do," feels natural and honest, not salesy.
People remember simple, repeatable stuff, not a 10-minute backstory. If you want referrals, you've got to hand folks the language they need. No guessing, no clever inside jokes. Tell them what you do in a way that's easy to repeat. A great way to break the ice is just saying, "Hey, tell me what you do in a way I could explain it to someone else." They go first, then you do yours. Easy as that. All right, so now you're easy to talk about, but the pipeline still needs fuel. The second big thing we want to hit today: how do you stay top of mind, genuinely, without it getting weird or transactional?
I always say value touches beat check-ins every time. Forget the awkward just following up. Instead, send something tailored. Forward an article that solves a real problem for your partner, or make a quick intro like, "Thought you two should meet, here's why." It's not about quantity, honestly. It's about showing that you see them and their context.
Let's just rattle off some of the simplest ways, right? Okay, here's one. Drop them a heads up about a new regulation in their field. No essay, just a line or two. Saw this and thought of you. Or, if you hear about a tool that could make their job easier, ping it over with a "might save you a headache." Doesn't matter if you're in home services, tech, whatever, it lands.
And sometimes the real value is being clear about what isn't a good fit for you. Saying something like, "I don't think we can provide the right value for your client on this one. I'd suggest you try XYZ company instead," builds real trust and shows you're focused on the client, not just taking every referral.
Set up a regular coffee meeting to exchange ideas. If you're both salespeople in different industries, you're probably dealing with the same challenges anyway. Timing, follow-up, trust, slow weeks. Use it to swap notes and build your relationship. Keep it casual. Keep it human.
One more thing, offer to do a walkthrough or demo if they've got a prospect who's on the fence. Look for ways to support your good opportunity partners. It's give to get.
Don't treat it like a point system where you give one, get one. It's about relevance, not keeping score. Every time you reach out, you're making a deposit, and you're making yourself that much harder to forget. Be the highlight in their inbox, not the needy guilt trip. And here's the part that may not always feel true in the moment. Over time, the people who consistently put in the work for their opportunity partners win bigger than everyone else. This only works if you treat it like a habit. Do something intentional for each good opportunity partner every week. Put it on your calendar. Set a reminder. If you put in the work here, it will pay you back consistently and predictably over the long run.
The biggest thing? Lose the ledger. Don't keep score. Set your partner up the same way you want to be set up. Clean description, quick context, no pressure. So, if I'm referring an IT guy, I'll say, he helps growing teams clean up workflows before scale makes everything a mess. I'll text you his contact info. Not just, if you need help with anything on the IT side, I know a guy.
There's a simple principle at work here, the law of reciprocity. When you give value first, without keeping score, people naturally feel inclined to return it, not because they're obligated, but because it feels right. When a referral is clean and genuinely helpful, people sense that. And when they sense it, they want to reciprocate. You don't have to ask. You don't have to mention it. The response happens on its own.
Here's how people actually do this well in the real world. Not talking about it, doing it. First, you listen for situations where your partner should be involved earlier than they usually are. Not after there's a problem, before one shows up. When you spot that moment, you tee it up. For example, you're talking with a homeowner and they mention they might sell in the next year. You don't pitch anything. You say, before you get too far, it usually helps to talk with a realtor early, just to understand timing and options. Then you connect them to your partner. No pressure, just positioning. Second, you frame the opportunity in a way that protects your partner's reputation. You don't oversell. You don't promise outcomes. You say things like, this is a good early conversation, or this might help you think ahead. That framing makes the introduction feel safe instead of salesy. Third, you make the first interaction easier for your partner. You give context before the meeting. Establish a reason to connect from your perspective, what matters, what doesn't, and what the person is actually trying to accomplish. Now your partner walks in prepared instead of guessing. Fourth, you look for patterns across conversations. If you hear the same concern come up more than once, that's usually an opportunity for someone else. You pass that insight along. I'm hearing this come up more often lately. You might want to know. That alone creates value, even if nothing happens immediately. Fifth, and this part matters, you don't force timing. If you sense it's not right, you say so. This might not be a now thing, but it's worth keeping on your radar. That honesty builds trust and keeps the relationship clean. When you consistently set people up this way, something predictable happens. Your partners start doing the same for you, not because they feel obligated, because you've shown them how to create opportunities without pressure. You didn't ask for anything back. You didn't keep score, you just made opportunity easier to step into. And that's how reciprocity works in practice.
And that's the momentum maker people miss. So, to wrap this up, let me do a quick recap. If you want opportunities to actually come through, consistently, not just once, make yourself super easy to explain, keep showing up for your partners without scorekeeping, and hand off referrals in a way where both sides feel great, no tallying, no drama. Opportunity partners are people, not vending machines. Treat the relationship like it's the whole game, because it is. All right, cue the music, because that's a wrap for Chapter 6 and Section 2. Thanks for tuning in. We have more ways to help you earn more opportunities in Section 3. Opportunity lives where attention goes. Until then, stay consistent, stay confident, and keep the momentum going.
You've been listening to Always Be Finding. Stay visible, stay relevant, and we'll catch you on the next episode.